Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about the Torah portion of Korach, and we will also give the meditation on Ribbon. So, Ribbon HaOlamim, the master of the world. Now, the Torah portion starts with Vayikach Korach, and Korach took. So that seems like a parlance. He took up something, but we know what he took. He took some bad stuff. As Rashi says, Vayikach Mekach Ra le'atzmo. He took a bad buy for himself. So what was it? The equation is this. If you take Moshe and if you subtract Hevel, then you get Korach. Now, for that to work, we need to count the numbers. So this is how you count them. Moshe, the gematria is 345. Mem is 40, Shin is 300, and He is 5, 345. And then you take Hevel, the gematria of Hevel is 5 and 2 and 30, that's 37. And if you subtract that, you get 300, and then you subtract 45 minus 37, 8, 308, and that is Korach. So what is the story behind this? The story is that Hevel, when he was in the world and he was being killed by Cain, he had 37 good traits in him. And that is the gematria of his name. And that is what later was reincarnated in Moshe. Now, Korach, he had the remainder. He had the 308 sparks. And later on, we would see that Cain actually had a part there. But right now, we're only interested in that. Moshe, being 345, took together the 37 and the 308, and he fixed all of them. He corrected all of them. And that explains why from the get-go, Moshe is adamant against Korach. In other cases, Moshe doesn't take an active role. When the spies want to go, he says, well, if you want to go, please go. But he is not right away nuclear with them. But Korach he says, we need to open the earth and swallow them right away. Well, you're not clear. Why is that? Well, this is a long story. That's because he says, guys, I've seen you in previous generations and we're continuing our fight. And this time I'll leave you no choice and no way out. Okay, so that explains things, and it is always good to have things explained. Otherwise, you don't quite get what's going on. So our practical meditation is right here. The meditation is on Ribbon Kol Haolamim. If you read this, you read Ribbon Kol Haolamim V'Adonai Hadonim. We're not coming to you because we're great. We're coming to you because we're exactly the opposite. Now, you take the very first word Ribbon and you calculate its gematria. It will come out Resh will be 200, and Beit 2 Vav 6 8, and 200 plus 50 Nun 258, and it turns out to be the sum total of those famous names of God. So first of all, and I will show you these letters individually, but first of all, there will be Yud He Vav He, the name of God. Of course, God has so many names. In fact, the whole Torah is a compendium of his names. But here is name number 1. Name number 2, spelled out with a Vav, Yud He Vav He. The gematria is 72. And then Yud He Vav He spelled with an Aleph here, the gematria of 63. Then Yud He Vav He spelled with an Aleph, the gematria of 45. And finally, Yud He Vav He, the gematria of 52. Now, what's good about these names, and these are the famous nicknames, it's worth learning them. It's worth learning those numbers because they will appear all the time everywhere. So let's go here. First of all, reborn, we said that's 202 and 6 and 50, that's 258. And these are the four names, but again, I encourage everybody to do the calculation and learn them, just because they will appear and reappear many times. So here's the first Yud Hey Vav Hey, it's 10 and 5 and 6 and 5, and that's 26. I'll do one example. I will encourage you to do the rest. So Yud is 20, Hey is 15, the total is 35. And then, by the way, that is another Hey. I'll fix that, but for now, keep in mind that this is 20 and 15 and 15. That is 50 total. And then we get Vav and Yud and Vav, that is 6 and 10 and 6. That's 22, plus what we had before that was 50, and the total is 72. So I like to say that I made mistakes on purpose so that we will pay attention, but mostly it's calculating what's important. So then when you start your morning prayer, and when you see this, then you remember to calculate it again, and that's how your whole prayer starts. Have a very good week, everybody. All the best.